Breaking news with Based and Bougie. So Kier Starmer has basically just introduced the mark of the beast. Sorry, not the mark of the beast. Digital ID. Let's get into it, guys. So 3 days ago, Kier Starmer, it will probably be 4 days ago by the time I post this, but Kier Starmer just announced that he wants to introduce digital ID. Here is his speech.
I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
First and foremost, can we just start off with the fact that what Kier Starmer is doing is literally illegal? It's illegal because according to the 2010 Identity Documents Act, it states that no ID cards are to be issued by the Secretary of State at any time after in which the day the act was passed. So in 2010, they said that if you introduce any other ID card under the 2010 Identity Documents Act, it is illegal. And yet Kier Starmer is doing it now. I don't understand why nobody's talking about this. Like, it's all fun to complain and to tweet and to put up to petitions, but why isn't no one talking about the fact that this is literally illegal? Like, who told him that he is above this act?
So the Prime Minister says we must have digital ID. That's the way we'll stop illegal immigration. Well, think about it. Germany has ID cards, strict ID and checks. It's made no difference at all in Germany, and nor will it here. All that digital ID will be is a means of controlling the population, of telling us what we can and can't do, of fining the innocent. And didn't we see it all when we had the pandemic, when you had to have vaccine ID to travel, to do various things? Did that stop the COVID pandemic spreading? Did it? Hell, all it did was put cost and inconvenience on everybody else. I also worry about massive data banks being held by the government, being hacked by foreign governments, by private companies, by criminals. I do not see a single benefit to the government having digital ID other than them controlling what we do, what we spend, and where we go.
So the UK government has announced it is mandatory for every adult in the UK to have digital ID in order to work. They are literally going to be able to see and manage every single thing we do. And if you do not comply, you get punished. So say you are to get on a train, you're going to get food, you're going for a walk, you're going to meet a friend, you're on a phone call, you're on a FaceTime, you've posted a TikTok, they're going to be able to manage that. Not that they probably already can't, they can probably see what we're doing, but they're going to be a lot more controlled and strict. We'll end up being controlled by something called a social credit score. So China already has this, and it's kind of like you're getting rewarded and punished. If you listen, you get rewarded. So they might go, right, you've listened, you can go to the cinema this week. But if you don't listen, oh, okay, you're getting punished. You can't have this for dinner because you've already had this 2 weeks in a row, or you can't go here, or you can't go there, or you're going to have a curfew for this time. You might think that, oh, that was a bit extreme what you just said, because that's probably not going to happen. Well, realistically, in the world that we live in, and if this does get introduced, then that is going to be the type of realistic world we live in. That is exactly what is going to happen.
Right, so there's a mandatory digital ID that's been announced by the Prime Minister, which will be introduced for all adults in the UK. Expected announcement from the Prime Minister as early as tomorrow morning. The reason why this didn't pass before is because it was a breach of people's private and civil liberties. And now it's just been approved by... Oh my God, this guy, man. What is he doing? He's going to cause an... I'm not even going to say the words. So the purpose of government... The justification behind this is to reduce illegal immigration and tackle the small boats crisis. So giving everyone a digital ID is going to tackle the small boats crisis, which will have access to what? My banking information, my whereabouts, my travel, where I'm going. Really? My credit score? We know we have to leave the ECHR to get control of our borders. That's the only way around this. Because until you leave the ECHR, they're just going to circumnavigate and use the laws of the European Commission of Human Rights to keep people here. So until we leave that, there's no... What did I tell you guys before? If we don't leave the ECHR, there is no solution. They are outright lying, saying that this is the solution by giving everyone a digital ID when it didn't pass before because it was a breach of people's personal privacy. And now that's being passed tomorrow morning.
Right, imagine what they'll do is they'll introduce this digital ID and they're like, it's going to be good migration, it's going to be helpful, convenient, it's going to be convenient and safe. Then there'll be some sort of crisis like a pandemic or a war or whatever. They go, right, unless you've got the digital ID card, you can't access these resources or attend these facilities or whatever it'll be. And then it would never go back to normal. Same as it never quite went back to normal after 9/11, never quite went back to normal after COVID, never quite went back to normal after 2008. They slowly escalate the tensions, legitimize the authority until you don't notice that you're not free anymore. You're not free. You're not able to be who you really are. Indeed, one might even argue that identity politics is an extraordinary pageant around freedom. I want to be something different. This isn't who I am. You better believe it ain't who you are. You were made to love God, and you're being used to serve Satan.
Digital ID is the hill to die on at the moment, because once they get everything in where they can completely delete you from society if you don't play ball. Because at the moment, if I go into the local shop and I go, all right, mate, yeah, blah, blah, food, blah, blah, okay, my card doesn't work. All right, there is money on it. We've all been there. Card doesn't work. Oh, that's annoying. All right, well, I've got some cash. Bosh, fine, I've got it. If you take cash away and it's gone, and it's what they want to do. And they did it through COVID, didn't they? They gave people the excuse to stop taking cash all of a sudden. And that was illegal before. You had to take it because it was legal tender. Since COVID, it's fine, yeah, we don't take cash, we're cashless now. Suddenly, the state can control whether you can eat, what you can do. That's huge. It can control where you can go, where you can spend your money. So, you know, I can go in and go into a grocery store. Everything's attached to my digital ID. All of my money, everything is there. My compliance score, the whole lot of it is all on there. And if I want to go and buy a couple of rump steaks, well, no, you had steak last week, son. Well, you won't let me buy that then. And people think that's far-fetched. They think that the idea of that is crazy. And you say, well, you do know in China that millions of people aren't allowed to use public transport because their social credit score is too low. And they look at you with a fluoride stare. I'm like, no way. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. And that is exactly the world that they want for the rest of us.
So they want us to get digital ID in the UK to take away your privacy completely. And I speak for a lot of people when I say, no thanks, fuck off.
Now, the digital ID card apparently is supposed to tackle migration. Can someone help me figure out how a digital ID card is supposed to tackle migration? Why does the Labour Party think that we are dumb? The Labour Party has been so complicit in mass importing migrants into the country. Thousands of migrants are coming in every week. And now you guys want to sit here and tell me that, oh my gosh, we care about this issue so much. And then when we think they're about to come up with a solution, the solution is digital IDs. Why the hell do we need digital IDs when you can literally just close the borders? Just close the borders.
It's like Black Mirror stuff.
Yep.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just like reality. That. Well, they're passing that in the UK right now. In the UK, you need a digital ID to combat, ready for it, illegal immigration. Well, you let the illegal immigrants in on purpose. Like, you guys knew what you were doing, and now you're using it as a justification for digital ID.
I just watched one this morning, actually, about, it was a British judge. A guy got sentenced.
I saw that, yeah.
For however many years for a
20 months, social media post.
For a social media post.
It
was about immigration.
It's getting
complaining
weird,
about immigration.
Wild.
Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy. And, you know, it's the best way to control people, you know, and keep them at each other's throats. Like, bring in a bunch of people that the people that live there don't want there and let them duke it out, and then start instituting tighter and tighter restrictions and control.
Yeah, I see all that happening, and it always makes me wonder. I wonder how it's going to go down here, because we are the different ones with the guns and stuff.
Why are we making this hard? Why are we making this hard? This shouldn't be hard. If we want to tackle mass migration, just stop the boats. These boats that are being funded by us, by the way, okay, because these boats look very, very, very professional. Like, make it make sense. Each and every one of these migrants, they all have the same safety vests, water safety vests, I forgot what you call it. They're all wearing the same boats. They're all coming from this, like, this is an organized business. It's literally a business. Close the borders, stop the boats, have an army surrounding the whole country with guns, saying that if you dare to come here, there will be consequences. Poland has done this successfully.
What do you do with them? How do you deport them? How do you do that when you're a member of the ECHR?
We put the cuffs, we put them on the plane and send them back from whatever they came from. It's simple as that.
So
and all these papers.
Would you say that British lawyers and politicians who say it's impossible are not telling the truth?
Well, they do not know how to deal with the real problem. This is not a paper. This is not a film. This is not a movie. This is a real situation. And all these excuses, all these lawyers, I'm a lawyer too. I'm doing my PhD on human rights as well. I know what we can do and how we have to react as politicians who are responsible for our families, for our citizens. This is not a theory. This is a time for people who can act, not debating. We are debating since 2015, as I said, when Germany started this minute. It's time to act. So what I would say to your political elites or to the people, I would say, send them back. Do not read anything. Send them back. Protect yourself, because it's not about your fancy way of living. It's about protection. It's about surviving. It's not a joke. So many people are killed, raped, stabbed. How long can you wait? How many must suffer? How many must lose their lives until someone will take action?
Poland has set up a wall around their country. They have an army with guns, and if anyone tries to enter the country illegally, you will be shot. Now, I don't agree, personally, in my opinion, with being shot because I'm a Christian and I believe in life. But what I do believe in is that there should be consequences. You should face jail time or you should be deported. Okay? Why are we making this so hard? Why should you spend 200 billion on a system of digital ID cards where we will need to buy things and work and this and that when you can literally just close the borders? The billions that you've sent to Ukraine, use that billions to fund the army to surround the border of this country so people don't enter here illegally. It's that simple. But they think we're stupid and they think we're going to fall for this. And I think they're very, they've lost their mind and they don't actually understand the British people. Us British people, we don't ramp when it comes to our freedom. We don't ramp when it comes to our liberty. And we certainly do not ramp when it comes to our independence. It's going to take them a while to try to push this, trust me. Now, what is this digital ID? This digital ID is basically going to be this government system that without it, you literally can't do anything.
Hi there, how you doing? I am wonderful. I am so sorry. That flight is canceled. No. Customer incident at the other end. What? So when is the next flight? Yeah, they're all kind of full. I booked this weeks ago. It's my best friend's wedding. I'm sorry. I have to get there. I have to. Okay, let's see what we can do. Thank you. I see there's one standby seat on another plane leaving tonight. That's reserved for members of our Prime Flight program. You gotta be a 4.2 or over to qualify. Oh, I'm a 4.2. I'm afraid you're actually a 4.183. Oh. Well, that's not my fault. Some woman dinged me down in the cab. Can't you just... I'm sorry, it won't let me book it without the correct ranking. But it's so close. There's just nothing I can do. Christ, I mean, surely. I'm gonna have to ask you to moderate your language there. Sorry, it's just... I'm maid of honor. I cannot miss this wedding. And I am so sorry about that. Can you call the supervisor? I cannot do that. Can you just call the supervisor? I cannot do that. Call the fucking supervisor. Okay, that's profanity. We're zero tolerance on profanity. I'm sorry, it's just... Yeah, I have to serve the next customer. No. Step away, ma'am. God, just fucking help me. I'm so sorry. I've called security. Oh, no, please don't do that. I'm a 5-starring you. 5 stars.
What's the issue here, Hannah?
Intimidation and profanity. Oh, no, I was not intimidating.
Don't speak, ma'am.
I was just trying to...
Okay, so, in order to restore calm, I'm invoking my authority as airport security to dock you 1 full ranking point as a punitive measure. This is a temporary measure.
No!
The score reverts to normal in 24 hours.
No, but I need it now.
Period, all downvotes are subject to a ×2 multiplier.
×2?
We recommend you avoid negative feedback at this time.
I'm on double damage?
Please, remove yourself from the airport immediately.
So how it works is that the digital ID card is supposed to give you a number that allows you to work. I'm confused to why we need a number that would allow us to work when we already have that. It's the national insurance number. So what other number do we need to work? So I'm paying for a national insurance number every other year. And yeah, now I need... What am I paying for my national insurance number then? Anyways, it's also supposed to give you an identity. Again, I'm not sure why you need an identity when we literally all have an ID card. We have our driving license card. Why do we need an ID card? Again, it's supposed to allow you to buy things. Again, why would I need a card to buy things when I literally have my bank card? I have my Apple Pay. I also have my cash. Very weird. And then it's also supposed to allow you to travel in and out of the country. Again, I don't know why I need that when I have my passport. I'm really starting... I don't understand what the need for this digital ID card is for, because everything that it's claiming to give us, we already have. Not only that, but this insistence that our government has in constantly trying to infiltrate every area in our lives is, in my mind, is very demonic. Government is not supposed to be that involved in your life. The government is supposed to only be there when you need them. Like, if I need the government for this, and when I need you for this, that's when I come to you. But this thing that they're trying to do where they're imposing themselves on you is weird. And it completely goes against British values, which stands for freedom and liberty and independence. The reason why this has happened is because you idiots voted in Labour. You idiots voted in Labour because you guys were thinking emotionally rather than using your actual brain. You weren't using your brain. You guys were too busy thinking that Reform was racist. You was too busy thinking UKIP was racist. You was too busy calling everyone racist, not really realizing that you've just voted in something that's very, very demonic. It's very demonic because the reality is the Bible is very clear. Anything that requires you not being able to live your life without having this thing is giving Antichrist. This is what a lot of us have been saying, that this whole mass migration crisis it's never been about just mass migration. It's been about control. You know, how the government always works and how very evil establishments have always worked is that they create a problem and then they bring a fake solution. The fake problem is, let's import people into the country, and when it becomes too much and when people have complained enough, let's bring a fake solution. And what's so funny is that yesterday we needed barcodes to get by. Now we need phones to get by. Now we need iPhones to get by. Now we need digital IDs to get by. What's going to be next? Oh, we're going to need chips to get by. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? Like I always say, everything starts in the physical and manifests in the spiritual. And I definitely believe that this is a preparation for the mark of the beast. This is a test run for the mark of the beast, okay? COVID was the ready, digital ID is the set, and then the mark of the beast is going to be the go. That's literally what's happening. COVID was the ready, digital ID was the set, and then the mark of the beast is going to be the go. This digital ID is literally a test run for the mark of the beast. Now, obviously, in Revelations 13:6-12, it says, it's also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on the right hand or on their foreheads to say that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast of the number of its name. Now, obviously, we haven't gotten to that point in society where we are having this mark on our right hands. Obviously, we haven't reached there yet. But the key part in this Bible verse is where it says you cannot buy or you cannot sell unless they have the mark.
A new free of charge digital ID, mandatory for the right to work. Mandatory for the right to work. Mandatory for the right to work.
That is demonic. That is demonic.
I just read where it said the UK is going to make it mandatory for all of its citizens to have a digital ID in order to work. This has end times testing written all over it. What we once thought was conspiracy isn't conspiracy any longer. And if you don't believe the Bible, things like this should open your eyes. I mean, it says in Revelations 13:16-17, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So this is going to come up on the world at some point. But when I see this about the UK, I go, yeah, are we just inching toward the big moment? You know, they use countries sometimes as testing points, as temperature checks of where society is and how it's going to react as they try to push forth certain agendas. Are they going to make too much noise, or are they just going to comply and just trust the government? You shouldn't trust any government, only God's government. The governments of this earth, unless Jesus Christ is in the heart of the leaders, they have an agenda to control the masses. It makes things easier for them, and the elites can have their way while they make everybody else just work their life away. So right now it might be you can't work without the digital ID, but what's next? You can't travel unless you have the digital ID. You can't go buy things at stores unless you have the digital ID. I mean, this is what's going to happen, because if everybody complies to this little bit, then they're eventually going to take a lot of bit. So don't be deceived and don't get comfortable. Make sure you pray that we get a bigger time clock to save souls.
Whether this is the mark of the beast or not, maybe if I'm wrong, maybe if I'm jumping the gun, or if I'm being too Christian and paranoid and you know, conspiracy theorist, but at the end of the day, Christianity is all about liberty. Christianity is all about independence. Christianity is all about freedom. And Christianity is only about obeying one entity, and that is Jesus Christ. Sorry, that's Christ, the Holy Spirit, and God. That's the only thing we need in this life. So when Kier Starmers trying to come into my life and trying to tell me that I'm going to need this ID card, that goes against my Christian values. And I feel like this is why Kier Starmer has such a low rating, because why do you keep pushing things that nobody needs? This is the problem that I have with the Labour Party, is that they keep concerning themselves with things that are not important. And to think there's still people out here supporting Labour. Like, I have friends who are still supporting Labour. After everything we've just seen with the grooming gang, after everything we've just seen with people being arrested for tweets, and now this digital ID where you can't buy or sell or work without it, and you man are still out here voting Labour? Foolishness. It's foolishness. I think people are just dumb. Literally, you're just dumb. Now, with that being said, now more than ever, I think this is the time where people really need to be making themselves aware of politics. I think the reason why people have been blindsided by this and can't believe this is coming is because people have been voting blindly. People have just been voting Labour and Conservative because it's a trend, but they actually haven't been looking at these people's policies and what they believe in. It doesn't take long to do any research on Kier Starmer and his connections to communism and Marxism. It does not take long. Once you realize that, you will realize, wait, I'm actually not voting in something that's in my best Christian British interest. I'm actually voting in something that opposes that. So to anybody watching this, I think now more than ever is the time to really pay attention to politics. Pay attention to who you are voting to. Read their manifestos. Look into their history. Okay, because the fact that we're even here in 2025, these people are literally trying to impose a law where you can't buy or sell something without this code, to me is very, very demonic. But we've ended up here because people have been voting blindly. People have been voting because it's a trend. People have been voting because of emotions. Oh, racism, this racism, that, and not even realize that you've literally just voted in a puppet of Satan. But anyways, guys, if you guys want more videos like this, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys.